experienced some PTSD symptoms years ago before it was really on the forefront of anybody's mind or really even knew what it was. I just knew I wasn't sleeping. I knew I was having issues with other stuff that was going on. And it was obviously dealing with the work trauma that I'd experienced. As a very young deputy, I was a field trainer at the time. I was training a new recruit who was only on I think his 10th day as a cop. And unfortunately we got a call, a disabled veteran was having a PTSD episode and was armed and was threatening to kill us so that we would harm him. Unfortunately with that situation, he forced our hand and raised the gun and was going to fire at us. And obviously at which time we had to use force against him. Even though I know in my mind we did everything we could and there was no other option, I still needed the closure from the therapy from it. So I began having flashbacks. I began, questioning, that, and it started to create a negative process of dealing with the stress that was at work. And unfortunately, without managing it and been able to manage it correctly and fix it, I had another incident where I was exposed to the riot during the unrest in the spring of last year with the distrust of law enforcement and the law enforcement uses of force, where I was on the front lines of for I think about 13, 14 hours, which ended in a violent riot with them trying to harm us with large rocks, fireworks and bottles and all that kind of things. And understand it. And our regular uniforms with just a regular bulletproof vest. We had no riot gear. We had no anything. We were being exposed to tear gas.
Oh my gosh.
We were being exposed to all these things. And I think that coupled with already dealing symptomatically with these other symptoms, I think it was just a breaking point for me. And I think that's where I realized that if I don't get some help for this, I may not be able to continue doing this job, but more importantly, I may not be able to do anything else. Back then, you would just kind of go see a doctor. They'd say yay or nay, and you'd go back to work or you wouldn't. There really wasn't a care aspect of it. I sought care on my own through our employee assistance program. But the problem with that at the time is you just sign up you just put your zip code in and you get a counselor. Well, the first person I saw, they specialized in divorce therapy. So I'm sitting here telling them about, this shooting that I was just involved in where I was forced to take someone's life. And they're trying to relate and trying to apply, but it was obvious that there was a disconnect. So I think transitioning from that to like Harvard MedTech, for instance, it was obvious that the company, once they saw the connection with the PTSD, they sought therapists and care teams that knew specifically how to deal with that problem.
What Harvard MedTech has learned is that by coupling virtual reality and the cognitive behavioral therapy, you're actually treating the patient as its own human being, because we're all different. And it's really important to have that customization when treating patients. When we say there's something for everybody, you have meditation, you have knowledge, so patients can actually learn where their pain is coming from. And the power to heal is already within us. Our brain is created to do that, to bring us back to normal. It's what it's meant for. And we're doing that without the medications and without surgery. We're just triggering our brain's response to heal naturally.
Every experience I've had with my, clinicians and things like that, and the VR, being able to apply directly to the symptoms that I'm experiencing, directly to the trauma that I experienced. Mm-hmm. So I think that more personal touch is important when it comes to people's care, because otherwise, it's not a cookie cutter situation. With the VR, if I had a situation or I began to have some symptoms, I could put it on for 5, 10, 15 minutes and get the benefit of the recovery and then take it off and it was gone. With the same point of I could, once I put that pill in me, it's over. There's no going backwards from that. Whereas the VR, if that hot call came out or something happened, it was like, you got to go right now, I took it off and I'm ready to go to work.
Right. So what I'm hearing, I want to reiterate to you, it helped you go to those exact places and not reenact, but bring up some of those sensations or those feelings that you had, and it helped you work through those feelings.
Right, to be able to have something that's behind closed doors, it's at your house, it's at your leisure. And honestly, I mean, talking about cops, a lot of cops they're gadget people. I mean, we carry a bat belt,
Sure.
you know, we have all our fun gadgets. What's cooler than having a VR to sit and, I mean, you know, your kids have VR, they're playing video games on. What's cooler to have something that you can sit and enjoy the process of and also get therapeutic relief from? And that's where I would tell law enforcement to get out there and find those tools. Find a therapist, find a technology like the VR. So find that technology and get it, and don't be afraid to ask for help, because if you're not able to take care of yourself, you're no good to anybody else.